Okay, what's up, guys? Welcome to this week's edition of FGC Talk, presented by AlphaCounter. I'm one of your hosts, Jared, along with my three out of the four other co-hosts, Mikey, Xsk Samurai, and Nick.
How's it going?
Say hello to the lovely stream monsters.
I hate all of you.
How's it going, everyone?
We are one short today. Sinistar couldn't make it, but we have a good show for you guys tonight. We have some really good topics to talk about. I guess we could just let's just roll right into it. The first thing is probably one of the biggest news of the week, and we didn't really want to talk about news, but this is pretty big. Is the Ultra Street Fighter 4 gameplay changes, with them adding in some new mechanics, that being red focus and double ultras. So I guess the first thing that we wanted to kind of talk about is, well, I want to hear from you guys first. What do you guys think about this? What do you guys think about the new changes that they're putting into Ultra Street Fighter 4?
I can
go ahead, Mikey. Start. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
A lot of players think the changes will be game breaking. Yes and no. It depends on what they're gonna do with that extra. What is it? They have like another game mechanic that's coming out.
We don't know what it's gonna be though.
Yeah, Shin and Z were talking about it being a guard break. So whatever that is,
Really?
That's when you can kind of determine when or what the game will kind of turn out to be. For now, it's probably gonna be a little bit faster, but right now I don't really care for the changes. Funny note, they had an interview with Ken Bogard. He was interviewing, let's see, I think it was Kendevu, Eita, Mitsuderu, Japanese Blanca players, Japanese players, and they don't care either. They're just like, you know what, who cares? We're still going to play Street Fighter. So not too many whiners from Japan, so that's a good thing. And we can learn a little bit from that.
Yeah, that's good. Mike.
I guess it's too early because we don't fully know how they're gonna work. Like they said they are gonna do location tests, so I'm sure like whatever problems there are early on, they'll be ironed out before the end of before the game's released. But so far, I kind of like them. It breathes new life into the game, adds another depth to the strategy. And
it definitely is going to.
Yeah, and I don't know, like they said, there's still that one more rumor change. I've heard so many rumors going around. I know one of them is a controlled wake up, that you control your wake up timing or something like that. But we don't know. So
I say it'll be gems.
If it's gems, they already not putting gems in after the botch fest that was Street Fighter Cross Tekken. So
Exactly, it's a stupid idea. That's why they're gonna do it.
I highly doubt that.
Capcom is like the WWE of fighting games.
They don't listen.
But okay, let's try to stay on topic. I think it's a good thing. I know the thing is that it's funny how the game has evolved, because back when Vanilla came out, everyone is calling it Super Turtle Fighter 4. It's like, all you can do is turtle and you win. And, people were complaining, there needs to be more offense. So Super through AE 2012, it's like all offense. And now people are like, this offense, it's way too strong. All this game is offense. The defensive characters can't do anything, yada, yada, yada. Then they announced Red Focus. And now all the people are like, Red Focus, it blows up defense. The defense people have too good of an option to get out of all this stuff and everything. It's just so funny how back and forth everything goes with each iteration of the game. Like you can't please anyone, man. Like people are always like looking for problems with it.
Oh, of course, yeah. Like I mean,
no shit.
I mean, it's. I guess when they
watch
first,
the language, please.
Yeah, it's like when they first announced the red focus and the double ultras. Like, I don't know. You guys could read like forums and like comments and stuff. Some people were legitimately thinking that this was going to break the game, and it's like, dude, just let it happen. Just let it evolve. We don't know yet. Like,
just lie back and accept it.
It's like we don't know if if like this, like, because you saw the concept or the video put out by Combo Fiend when Rufus had both ultras available, and then he did ultra 2 and it did like no damage. Like, we don't know yet if that's the case. Like, my gut is that they're just showing that off to just see if, show the people the concepts. They haven't worked out like damage tweaking or anything like that. I mean, I think it's going to be a welcome change because I think it's also going to just bring in new strategies for the game, which I think is nice. But like I said, we'll have to wait and see because I'm assuming this. Like, there were rumors that this game's delayed, so I'm assuming that we're gonna not see this game for at least till the spring part of next year.
Yeah, definitely not till early next year, I'd say.
March.
Yeah.
But they got all that time to tweak everything, so like I said, whatever problems they do have, everything will be fixed. I trust them.
Yeah, I mean.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead, Nick. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, like with all these changes in general, the being able to use both ultras, the red focus, and whatever the hell this rumored third game mechanic change is. I honestly, I kind of welcome this stuff with open arms. It's obvious that we're still going to be playing Street Fighter 4 for quite a while. It's going to be a while before Capcom brings out a true, proper next-gen fighter. So anything that really, shakes up the game a little, breathes some new life into it, I'm all for it. Again, I think people are jumping the gun saying, like, oh, this is going to ruin the game, it's going to kill it, and all this stuff. You're jumping way the hell ahead of yourself right now. We don't know how this stuff is going to truly pan out until we get our hands on it and get to play it ourselves, They still got, months of tweaking and balancing ahead, before the game's even ready to go.
Yeah, that's very, very true.
I agree with that completely because people are saying, that the game is screwed up some way, somehow because of their focuses, but you have to wait and see. I mean, I can already tell you that I already have counters for red focuses already, and I'm sure Daigo is going to be thinking of something. I'm sure Fudo is going to be thinking of something. Shin,
of course.
All of, that instead of just looking at the game like, oh, it's going to be changed for the worst, they're just looking at the options already. So.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really, it's just because they added a new gameplay element doesn't mean that there's ways around it. I mean, it's like a regular focus attack still. You can still use an armor breaking move. You can throw. There's going to be tactics still around it. So, we just have to wait and see and let the, the game, when the game comes out, just let it evolve, because, look, people can say all this stuff negative about Capcom, but at the same time, at least with this franchise, the Street Fighter 4, the game's actually been pretty good and pretty balanced, so I still trust them in this franchise. So,
yeah, they've been generally consistent with, the balance and just the overall handling of, at least Street Fighter for the last, hell, we've been playing, Street Fighter 4 for almost, 5 years, almost.
Yeah. And, Cody says in the chat, he says that the issue is, level 2 red focus is unblockable. If it's unblockable, if that's going to be a problem.
I don't think it's going to be a problem at all, because it favors some characters, but it also favors other characters in different ways. For example, Faye, you can kind of say, hey, we have a focus level 2 that's unblockable. But we also have a focus that also absorbs multiple hits for the other person. So if the Fei Long player decides to direct it twice, he's gonna get crumpled,
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think it's going to add a different element to strategy to the game, which I'm welcome to.
Yeah, it's good that it's gonna be changed up, and it just, like I said, it breathes new life into the game. So it'll be interesting to see what everyone comes up with.
I don't know. This is just kind of my opinion. I think that with the new game modes and the characters and stuff, I feel like right now this is kind of the closest we'll get to Street Fighter 5 for a while.
Yeah, it's gonna be a while.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mikey. I'm sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you.
They have to do something with the game to make it fresh, and this is the only way they can do it in this sense.
Yes.
And I think they're working on something else as well. I'm not really sure, but
yeah. Release that tweet.
Yeah, Capcom. Yeah, go on.
If you think about it, games like Dota 2 and I think League, they have patches every so often, and we don't really get a patch unless we're Injustice, you know. But that's another story.
Are you knocking my
Capcom-
game, son?
Yeah.
Capcom doesn't really do too many patches,
Mhm.
and I think they like to do it in batches. That
Which
end.
Which is, I think it's a good way to go around.
I do too.
So we'll have to see. We'll have to see. I have really high hopes for this game, and I honestly think that with the new changes and some of the other things Capcom has in store, this could actually. I won't say the game's dead, but it could help revive the game from people who were turned off from playing it, and maybe even bring in new people. Who knows?
That's already probably what it's gonna do for me.
So I'm really looking forward to that. The next topic that we kind of wanted to go into before we get into our bigger segment of the show is I think there was an article on Event Hubs last week about Canada Cup, about Lapchi possibly not having a Canada Cup 2014 next year because of some financial trouble, or it was $20,000 in the hole, I guess, or in debt.
Yeah, but aren't tournament organizers like making like $20,000 or $30,000 off of every tournament they have?
If that was the case, everybody would be doing it. Well, here's the thing. Let's say Canada Cup doesn't happen next year, and then I guess from my experience watching streams from other majors, I've seen like attendance is down.
A lot of empty chairs.
Do you guys kind of feel like this? What do you guys feel is the state of this community right now? Like, do you guys feel like it's stagnant? Like it's not going up, we're not growing, it's dying?
No, the changes to Ultra, I think, are gonna make the game a little bit better in the sense of, I guess, prize money and maybe presentability for the game. It's gonna be more exciting. It's gonna be different, and hopefully more people come and play it. That's just for Ultra Street Fighter. I'm not sure about Marvel. Marvel is still the same, but it's still very exciting to watch.
Yeah.
I think we feel like the whole Capcom Cup thing. Once that kind of happens, we'll see where it goes from there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like right now, with the community as a whole, just with everything that's been going on, I get this unshakable feeling that it's starting to plateau, like big time. It's not going up. It's not going down. It's just sort of like settled into this spot, and it's not really growing like anymore. And again, like what you said about Lapchi being $20,000 in the hole. It's kind of like that for like a lot of like other tournament organizers, because there's only so long that they can be putting this stuff on and doing things like this, with money out of their own pocket or doing it out of the goodness of their heart. Sooner or later it's going to dry up unless you bring in more money, unless you bring in the sponsors. And the fact is, fighting games just aren't quite doing that right now. Nowhere near in the same capacity that Dota, League, and other games are doing. Sad but true, really.
I agree with
true. It's true, but we still have to see what's going to happen with Ultra. I feel like that's going to be a big change. There's going to be a lot of changes. I don't know if it's going to be good or bad, but there's definitely going to be a little bit more money.
Yes.
In Ultra.
But I agree with Scythe's plateau thing right now. It does feel like the scene is plateaued. But I think another problem with like tournaments right now is that why attendance is down is because there's so many tournaments nowadays that I think it's just hard for players to like make all these tournaments. Whereas Canada Cup used to be like the big one, or like one of the big ones. Now it's like you have Canada Cup, and then like what was it, like a week or two after was Shadowloo Showdown, and then you have all these tournaments like every weekend that it's so hard for players like that normally used to go to like every tournament to like make it to every tournament now because there's so much travel, it's so much money.
Yeah.
That it's getting to the point where you kind of just have to pick and choose like the main ones you want to go to, and I think that's one of the reasons why attendance has been down on a lot of tournaments.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
Let's try to answer some of these questions on the stream.
Okay. That was actually something I was going to go right into, Mikey. So Time Gem asks, so what do you guys think needs to happen in order for the community to grow?
A lot of things.
Yeah,
there's a lot of shit needs to happen.
Do you guys mind if I take this one first?
Go for it. You're the boss.
I honestly think that there's not just one thing that needs to happen. There's so many things that need to work into place. The first thing is you have to find, like, regardless of how people feel and stuff, you have to find a way to incorporate yourselves in the esports. It just has to happen. Like,
Yeah.
like if you want, like, if these players, top players, so to speak, want top dollar money in gaming, you have to incorporate esports somehow. Like, because fighting games is kind of like, you know, it's not. I mean, would you guys just say it's not? It's not as a common gaming genre compared to like FPS and stuff. Like, it's
It's not
I
easy
would
to
say
pick up.
so.
it's not
It's
easy.
not
It's
easy.
not
No.
easy to pick up. It's fighting games take a lot of time, a lot of dedication, studying everything. And when you have, I mean, I'm not gonna say like all these other games out there or are like, I don't want to say like, oh, it's easier to become a League of Legends pro player, but those games tend to be a lot easier to pick up and learn in less time than a fighting game. So I think that's one thing. But like, other than that, there has to be more. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I kind of want to say yes and no because I've played Dota 2 or Dota 1 for like 6 years, and games like League of Legends, they do a good job in presenting the game to a broad audience and making it easier for the players. Capcom, they're trying that in the sense with Marvel being a little bit easier in execution wise, AE being easier execution wise, buffering, reversals, you don't have to do it on one frame. There's things that Capcom are trying to implement.
Yes.
But because League of Legends did it first, they're getting the whole crowd. They're getting the broad audience of the easier MMORPG games. I don't know what it is. Oh, what is it? What do they call Dotas in League of Legends? I forget what it is.
It's RTS. I don't know how to define
MOBA?
it.
It's not
MOBA?
RTS. It's MOBA. I'm sorry, I
MOBA.
keep forgetting.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that, and I see Rob put in the chat too. Fighting game tutorials are generally usually bad, and that's kind of true.
Yeah.
It takes a lot of time
That's true.
it takes a lot of time to be involved in this, to be at a high level. So it's like most players are turned off by that. If they want to make money in gaming, they're like, well, I can just play why would I want to put in this hours when I can just play this game or something like that? I mean,
it also translates to the generation of gamers.
that's
now.
very true.
Yeah, me and Jared.
I'm one of those. I'm one of those gamers from this generation, a little bit earlier, but we're pretty lazy. Say it that way.
Yeah.
Pretty lazy.
Yeah, that's the other thing too that me and Jared have like talked about like pretty much like numerous times, I think. But yeah, it also has to do just with this whole generation of gamers. I'm not talking shit about anybody or anything, but this is kind of like the Call of Duty generation. This is the generation of instant gratification. Players kind of want to be congratulated and patted on the back and get all kinds of shit like every 10 minutes or whatever. They don't want to spend hours upon hours losing and studying, matchups, frame data, timing, combos, and all this other stuff, in order to start winning. The average person, they don't want to do that nowadays. They just want to, hop on Call of Duty, pick up a gun, start shooting, and see all those big, shiny numbers on the screen.
And I think 8 Hat said LOL is pick up and play, press buttons. You just pick it up and play. FGC takes muscle memory. I can agree and disagree with that because
I can agree. I can see both points too.
There's a lot of spacing actually in MOBAs and a lot of reactions and a lot of it's very fast. It's not 14
Positioning
seconds.
in general.
Yeah, there's a lot of decision making. Decision making in MOBAs is a lot. You make decisions every single second.
Okay.
So.
And another thing here that I'm seeing is that 8 Hats said there is a high learning curve. If at tournaments and at arcades there was a way for pros to level up other people, those who have done should teach. He said possibly a minor league would be great. I just tried my luck at a tournament that Momochi and Infiltration were in. I am still learning in a way to level up and compete. Well, if I'm understanding what you wrote there, I don't like the whole fact of like categorizing it as like minor leagues and stuff. That like having a quote unquote minor league for FGC, that's like splitting the community. That's like
here's the thing. I'm sorry to interrupt you, but here's the thing. If you want to get better at fighting games, you have to do the work.
Yes.
As much as you want somebody to teach you, you can find a teacher, but if they're a player that's competing at a competitive level, professional level, it's hard for them to take that time to help you while helping themselves, improving their own ways. So you have to either prove yourself that you really are serious about it, or you have to find somebody that's more patient with you, or that has the time to do that.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of players that are like that, and there's some players that I wouldn't say that they're less likely to help you, but they're more occupied. Let's say it that way.
Mm-hmm. And trust me, I can speak from experience. It's like learning. You're gonna like I guess like from my vibe that I'm getting from what you wrote is like you don't like it's scary to enter tournaments with top players when you're gonna lose. I found out that losing a lot has helped me get better. I still lose all the time when I play Mikey. You think? I mean, but I learn.
That's what we talked about last week.
Yeah.
I mean, like,
yeah,
you're gonna lose, and you need to lose.
You need to lose.
Learn.
Yeah, you need to lose. Like professionals lose all the time. Like you need to lose to get better. So, I mean, having like I don't like that term simply because the worst thing you can do now is split as a community. To make it grow, there has to be a whole bunch of other things.
Yeah. But
no, it's all good, dude.
Here's the thing: if a player wants the help, they have to help themselves first.
Exactly.
And that's a whole thing in itself.
Yeah.
So let's move to the next question.
Yeah. Why are fighting games not as popular as the more mainstream games? That kind of goes into the whole fact. There's infinite amount of answers to this. I feel like because you could be like, well, I'm just not interested in this. I'd rather play a shooting game. Or a lot of it has to do with like if they want to be good at this game, they have to put in a lot of work, and a lot of people don't want to do that. Like
it's not necessarily that the players are there that are putting in the work. It's the company that's backing it. I feel like, Valve has Dota 2 has Valve. League of Legends has Riot, and we have Capcom. And Capcom, we all know that Capcom isn't really doing the best in its business, but it is still striving to put out content tournaments for us.
Yeah.
So we have to appreciate that for what it is,
Mm-hmm.
instead of saying, why aren't we popular than League of Legends or Dota 2?
And it's not as easy because Capcom doesn't have that type of money compared to Riot and.
And you had a good point. You said how many games do Capcom make? They make a ton of games, right? They don't just make one game.
Yeah, they don't make just fighting games. They make a bunch of different genre of games. But to be fair, a lot of their genre of games aren't that successful either. So that puts a lot of pressure on everything else, and they might not have the money to finance more fighting games or to put on more community events like that because they're not making money as a company as a whole.
That's what happens when like every other game you come out with ends up being a friggin' flop.
Well,
let's see.
It's every company's gonna put out a flop. Every company, but it's just like maybe they just have to go back to the drawing board and think. But I don't know. Anyways,
let's look at it this way: League of Legends has how many players, and fighting games have how many players? Let's look at the percentage of players that are actually really, really good, opposed to really, really bad in the fighting games and in League of Legends.
Yeah, that's a very.
League of Legends have a lot of casual players. Mm-hmm. Us, we have a handful of casual players and a lot of high-level skilled players. So that's because our community is so small. But that tells you more that we are more competitive than, let's say, another genre.
Mm-hmm.
And no, we're not like more competitive, but more. That's just our little group that we have that's more competitive. They have a lot more players, obviously, but you know how many teams are there that are really competitive? There's only like 13, 12 teams. I forget how many there are, but not too many actually make it in the cut in the money. That's
a very good point. Okay, so I guess now you guys can keep asking questions and all. That's the whole point of the show is it's community interaction and viewer interaction. So if you guys have any other questions, just keep throwing it out. So the next portion we're gonna kind of jump into is we're going to review a match that was sent in to us last week by one of our viewers. So, Mike, do you kind of want to give a little introduction since you were kind of at the event?
Okay, so this video that you'll be watching is from the Korea Capcom Cup qualifier. It is 8 Hats playing Jury versus M Lizard playing Viper. This was a first round match in the tournament. So you can just watch it here, and we'll all watch it together, and then
We'll
go
kind of
back, and then
do our
go
best.
back and go over it. Yeah.
Okay.
So I know Mikey's going to be handing down his analysis as well. So we can just watch this video here. Do we have sound on it?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay, here's a Viper versus a Jury.
Okay, wait, it's not a Cammy.
No.
Yeah, I recognize the wrong guy.
Shoutouts to
We all look
Rizzo.
the same to you.
Is that Narax? Is the Viper Narax?
This
The
could
Jury
be,
versus
judging by the
Viper.
movement. I don't see
Yeah, it may be.
I don't think we got sound on the game, but okay, we could watch.
Okay, you can
So
probably
8
guess
Hats
who the
is in the
American
chat as well. So if you have any questions, if he has any questions, go ahead and
He doesn't
shoot him out during our analysis, and maybe you could tell us what was
Okay,
going
never
through your
mind.
head as well.
I
what-
mean by the
in
flag.
certain
by the
situations.
flag when near the name.
Yeah.
Nothing else. We go by the flag.
Go by the flag?
Yeah. We don't make any assumptions.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Use the low heavy kick to.
And this was at the
there
Korea
it is,
qualifier,
okay.
right?
Into dizzy, into a miss combo.
Yes, this was Korea Capcom Cup qualifier.
Okay, well, from this match here, I'm kind of noticing that, again, he keeps going for a lot of jump-ins. But not only
I've
that,
seen you,
you know, he's
using Jury.
getting
Would
punished
you
and
say
blown
that
up for it a lot.
is bad reversal?
and also, you notice, like, watch how many kind of overheads he got hit with, too. You know, he was just kind of really leaving himself open a lot, was not playing very good defense.
Yeah, the Viper M Lizard. He's one of the best Vipers in Korea. He's a really solid player. He was on the.
And sometimes it moves forward.
Believe if I remember correctly, he was on the.
In one place. Do you?
What was it? The Canada Cup Korea team.
Feels like it's hard to punish, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, I do agree.
And it's the only.
Yeah,
one
M-Lizard
that
is
I
good.
feel
He's the one that
changes-
taught infiltration in the matchup.
Yeah, it just.
Oh, really?
I know what I
Is that a
Because
bug
they play each
or
other.
something?
Something it doesn't-
How do you think? How do you think infiltration did so well against the Scythe that one day?
I don't know what that is. If someone could explain that to me on Twitter at CienMSG or CHIEP, please let us know. Maybe the reviewer.
No, I didn't get a
that
chance to
has
play him,
the
Lizard.
scientists,
Yeah, scientist of the Street
Yeah.
Fighter.
the PhD in the Street Fighter. Alright, calling her.
And before we go into any match analysis for this character,
The one with
Jerry and Jerry and Viper, playing against Viper and knowing that matchup, it takes a lot of time to learn that matchup. So a lot of it, what he's doing and what he's not doing, is from matchup knowledge. I can tell you that right now.
Oh. Could have been a better punish than that, huh?
Mm.
Yep, there you go.
Ooh, ooh.
Okay.
Okay, and that's the match.
Okay, so
So back it up and let's have Mikey take this, and let's see what we could learn from this matchup.
okay.
I might be a little bit slower than you guys because I'm still finishing it.
Well, the first thing is what stood out to you first, Mikey. What's before even that? What stood out to you first in this matchup?
Oh, he's lucky that M Lizard doesn't use close medium kick to enter him every time he jumped. So what he needs to do is play the character matchup first. Play your character first. I felt like he didn't really play Jerry. He tried to play against Viper, and Viper plays feed off of that, and they will destroy you very fast.
Yeah.
So just play your character first. You have the ground. You have the tools to play on the ground. You have the tools to zone her out. She has to come to you, or you can corner her. It doesn't. I don't really see any reasons for you to be jumping at her, unless you have a read on a seismo. She never even did any seismos until the end. So the fact that you said that you were trying to avoid ground pounds and go right in, you never really had the chance. She didn't condition you to do that.
Yeah.
You kind of just assumed that the player was going to start doing that. So instead of assuming, just play the match out first, and then find your ways to condition him or her. And that's pretty much it.
Okay.
It's
I wanted to point out something that I noticed already in the first round. Okay, so the first round of that, the biggest thing that I saw outside of you, just like, and this was basically a lot of it was the whole match is jumping, but also hit confirming, because there was a couple times you landed short, like 2 shorts and nothing else after that. Like, you gotta like continue to hit confirm into your combos. That's pretty huge, because you need to take advantage when you get an opening from Viper. You cannot let her build momentum, and it's. I mean, I still don't even know how to properly play this matchup. So, but I guess like hit confirming was like one of the things that definitely stood out to that.
If you really want to avoid the seismos, you still have the Tiger Knee, and you have time to punish her. The Tiger Knee dive kick. So if you do that, you hit the ground. As long as you don't hit her, the best she can do if she were to block that is to throw you. That's her best punish. But even then, if she's crouching or standing, it's a 3-frame or 4-frame move in the sense. And I believe it's minus, I forget what it is. It's pretty punishable.
And I believe that Viper's low forward Thunder Knuckle is not a true block string, right?
It's not a true block string, but she doesn't have anything that will, unless she has EX meter.
See, like I don't know. Yeah, I don't know her frames, so I don't know if she can like EX pinwheel out of that or.
She can EX pinwheel out of it, but the idea was going low with a knuckle, and he just kept on doing it because he kept on getting. First, he kept on getting hit by it. Next, he didn't really do anything about it. So if he had checked him if he blocked the low forward and then he did a knuckle and he EX spins through the lightning, then maybe he would think again. But he never really conditioned him. So the whole idea was the mind games weren't really there, and it was all M Lizard. He was controlling the match.
Yeah.
Pretty much the whole time.
And another thing that I noticed too while I was watching the video, is that there's pretty much no setups. There's times where you would get a back throw into the corner, or you would get some sort of knockdown, and there was nothing that happened. You just kind of backed off, or you just stood there, and that's something that also needs to be practiced.
And that back throw translates to you getting a ton of meter because you get that the fireball. You get the low forward into a fireball. He's stuck there for a while. If he jumps, you can anti her. Because the idea is, if she's stuck in the corner, she wants to get out. And once you see that, once you corner her and make her block for a bit, you'll see that and you'll be able to react. But that takes a lot of experience with the matchup first.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is matchup knowledge. And then also, I feel like this could probably play more into matchup knowledge, and I would think Mikey's, but like I feel like watching this, like. And like, I just feel like there's like he doesn't have a set game plan. Like he's just kind of just like going out there like just trying to hit her. Yeah,
there's no game plan. And then also with the Ultra One, he just activated it and you got hit. There are some things that you can do with Ultra One. One is like you can use it as Rose. You can get as much Ultra One, half of Ultra One is fine. Use it, corner her, and deal some damage, and then later on you get another ultra. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But he used it at the end. He had a full ultra, then he just got hit. So there was really no game plan. There was just like, okay, I'm gonna activate ultra. Here again, he's doing it again. Let's see what he does, and Emily recognizes that he has ultra. He's gonna attack.
Yeah,
he understands that he needs to attack because there's no recognition of what is the Jerry player gonna do. He doesn't really care because he's controlling so much of the match.
Mm-hmm. So I guess like so
talking about the ultra, is ultra one the preferred ultra in this matchup, or?
I would say it can be either or depending on what you want to do, because if she's in the air a lot, if the Viper player likes to burn kick a lot, super jump out of the corner with the burn kick. You can do a jumping medium punch, juggle into Ultra 2, or you can use the Ultra 1 to keep your pressure in the corner, keep it there, and kill her. So there's a lot of this. It can go either way. I wouldn't know, to be honest, because I don't play Jerry enough.
Yeah.
Those are the ideas towards both ultras.
Yeah, because he had another question saying, can Ultra 2 punish burn kick? And I don't know what burn kick is on block and what the startup of Ultra 2 is.
It can't. I don't think it can punish unless he does it like really, really terribly bad. But you can do it on reaction. I'm sure you can.
I was gonna say I'm pretty sure you could do it on reaction, but as far as as a punish, I don't know.
Punish, yeah.
I don't think so.
I don't think it punishes.
Let me look up the frames on.
But that would be
burn kick or
on.
Well, because burn kick changes frames at certain heights and at certain animations. Like if you tiger knee, if you do this, if you do that, so it changes.
I'll check the startup on Jury.
But if you really want to punish a burn kick with the Ultra 2, chances are that's not gonna happen all too often, because if the player recognizes that, they're not gonna burn kick. They're just gonna kill you on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So don't really think about punishing a burn kick. Look to low forward under it. Look to use your focus armor, the armor thingy, to go out of the way. You have a lot of tools to deal with burn kick, but he never really got the chance to use it. The same thing with the Seismos. You can dive kick, because she has so much recovery in the Seismos. You don't necessarily have to jump, because for example, if you jump, she'll fake you out, then she'll knuckle you, she'll anti-air you, right?
Mm-hmm.
But if you dive kick really low to the ground, you can really bait her out as well. So that's another neutral game trick that Jury players can do. And of course you have recovery, but she has more recovery. The Viper player has more recovery on the Seismo.
Yeah. So I guess outside of like the matchup, what are probably the top two things that you see in your mind, Mikey, that you would like him to practice on like right now in training mode?
He needs to work on the one player aspect of the game. That means execution, timing, setups, character knowledge goes another way, but footsies is like it's very hard to implement footsies if you can't execute 100% max damages combos. If you can't do any setups, if you can't, it's all, you don't have to, it doesn't mean you have to do all these one frames into a death combo. It just means as long as you can do a basic combo, as long as you can do a combo that knocks down, something that gives you an advantage after a punish or something, or after something, then you can work on footsies. But it's just a one player game. That's on him. He has to work on which buttons work for which anti-air. I never saw him use crouching strong, buffer into a fireball. I didn't really see him use fireballs all too much,
Yeah. Well, here's something that maybe, because I'm still lack of knowledge in that matchup per se. Like, if you how reliable are I know. Do you like to throw a lot of fireballs in the matchup when you play Ryu against Viper? Obviously safe fireballs, but or do you try and play footsies?
The way I would play it, and Jerry can play either positions or either styles. She can play aggressive and walk forward and fireball her, or she can walk back and turtle and throw fireballs and then get a knockdown and then kill her, or do some mix-ups, or keep her in the corner. Okay. I would do the same thing, because I play Ryu. I would corner her, or I'd walk forward a lot, or advanced, because a lot of times Viper players, if you try to turtle, and it's not bad. It's just it's difficult as well, because if she gets to the knockdown, chances are she can do a mix-up on you, and if you continue to turtle, chances are you won't have the life lead, so you have to play aggressive. But if you play aggressive, and you set the tone, that will give you chances to turtle later on, or to change it up. So
okay,
it's back and forth. It depends on what you want to do as well, and the play styles.
Okay. 8 hats.
He's in the chat, so I just want to know that you had any questions for Samurai or anyone, or any questions regarding your matchup. If there's anything specific you wanted to know.
Mikey, you were going to add something?
Oh no, because I think Time Gem said, I don't know if you covered this yet, but are they balancing characters? Who's getting buffed and who's getting nerfed?
It's still not. It's unfinished. It's unfinished.
Yeah, they're not done with it yet.
It's mainly just rumors and speculation still at this point.
Well, they already have some changes that they already said they were going to do, but nothing is set in stone 100%. So we won't know for a while, because things could change with these location tests too.
Yep.
Things can change. You can go read those.
You can probably Event Hubs.
Event Hubs.
Event Hubs had a just type in USF4 changes or something like that in Google, and it should take you to Event Hubs with some really early changes for characters.
Yeah.
I know the earliest ones. I know Rekka range got reduced for Fei Long. Chun-Li got a lot of
She got-
buffs.
Yeah, she got all of her anti-airs back.
Yeah,
All
it's
her anti-airs, increased health to 950. Yang got faster walk speed.
Crouching strong, you can cancel into a Rekka.
Yeah, there's a lot. You could just go read that. And Cammy got nerfed.
that
Ibuki.
Event Hubs and Capcom Unity would be your two best bets.
Okay, so 8Hats got a question. I should practice execution and training before learning the matchup and reaction.
I would say that, at least for me, I would say that would be I would do that.
I think, yeah, that's. Oh, we got a thing.
I posted 2 pictures on.
I'm scared. That's godlike. Yo, that's godlike.
Yo, shout
Okay.
outs to Marvelous Customs, by the way.
And I should find videos on how to set up characters on Knockdown. So, do you guys want to take those questions?
Well, it's just like you can look on SRK. You can look on SRK, shoryuken.com. You can look on Event Hubs. Like YouTube even has setups too. YouTube's you could just type in Jury AE 2012 setups, tutorials, whatever. You'll
Tutorials. Yeah.
find stuff, and then just work on it in training mode.
If you shouldn't really stress the setups, you should really stress execution, basic combos, and basic fundamentals of the gun game.
Mhm.
You know, anti-airs. You don't really need too many setups if you can have a solid fundamentals for that character. And the character does have potentially good fundamentals.
Yeah, that's.
You can control the ground so much.
Mhm.
I think another thing too, because I've played him before, is like obviously the combos, finishing the combos is one of the big things. There's also lots of button presses in unnecessary places.
Yeah, if that goes back to character knowledge, because the overhead on hit and block, they're all still positive. So you can't really do anything. You have to just take it.
Yeah, so it's really important to learn like when to press the buttons and when not. So I think that's one of the main things too to focus on.
I was gonna say too is, I would say don't be afraid to just block. That's at least in this game. If you're unsure, just block. Like
You will learn a lot more if you block. If you just press buttons instead.
I preach this, but I don't practice it because I'm a scrub. Because I'm a scrub. But no, but seriously, like I've been playing Rose since Street Fighter 4 first came out, and then I switched to Cody about 3 weeks ago, and like I can already tell you by learning to block more, like my defense got better, and I'm learning. I feel like I've learned more of the game, like. But it's better just if you're unsure, just block, and then later after the match or something, if you're playing online, go to training mode and see if you can punish it or something like that. But don't be afraid to block. It's nothing's. You don't want to keep pressing buttons, because if your opponent is trying to frame trap you, yeah, that's GG's right there. Don't want to do that.
Thanks for playing. Presented by Capcom.
Okay, so I guess we should just move into basically the segment of the show, the training room.
Yeah, that video leads up into the training room.
So
Brought to you by Marvelous Customs.
yeah, brought to you by Marvelous Customs. We can't forget about that. Go check out their website, guys. MarvelousCustoms.com. They have some really good arcade sticks and everything like that. So
Custom ball tops, buttons, whatever you want.
So the topic for this week for our training room is how to practice properly. This seems to be a question that gets asked a lot by newer players, and even like players like me, like that have been playing for a while. That I'm not even that great, but I still am starting to grasp the understanding of how to practice properly. So we'll get started, I guess. Mikey, do you want us to just take the floor and just kind of go over like the basic stuff first, and then we can go into more of the advanced things?
Sure. Well, the first thing when I first got a fight stick was to use training mode, obviously, to practice my execution. It took me about 2 weeks to do like normal combos because I played on pad. So that's one thing. If you're comfortable with your stick, that's the first thing that you want to do. If you play on pad, that's same thing. Next thing is understanding your basic combos, when you can do low forward fireball, what you need to do for certain spacings. That all goes to practicing your combos. And when you practice your combos, for example, if I want to do my Ryu 1 frames, I do it for about, I think, an hour or 2 hours. I do it on one side, another hour on the other side, and I do it until I'm comfortable with it. And sometimes it's all preference, but I take the the Kobe or Michael Jordan route and say if it's not perfect 20 times this way and perfect this way, and I mess up, I'm gonna restart and do it over and over again until I get it right. So that's totally preference. It's all preference. But after that, you get your execution down. That's when you can say, okay, I lost to an Ibuki player, so I'm gonna practice in training mode to see what Ibuki does. And sometimes, if you actually pick up a character and you see that you've lost to them, you recognize that, oh, this is unsafe, or this is safe, and this is negative on block. You'll find that out in training mode a lot at all times than not. So take the time to take training mode and take advantage of it, because there's a lot of things that you can do in training mode. Believe it or not, if you look at those boxes are there for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I don't just sit there and just go pressing low forward mindlessly. People say they count the boxes. Yes and no, but there's a lot of things to it. If you look at people's counter throws, you recognize they go different boxes. They cover different boxes. If you look at people's low forwards, they cover different boxes. So there's a lot of things that you can do. That's just the very gist of it. But yeah, Fabio pretty much hit it on the head. Don't blindly practice anything or everything, unless you're playing Marvel. But Marvel is like totally different story.
Marvel's a different. It's your mindset has to be different to practice that game compared to Street Fighter. Would you agree? Because that's how my approach for both games is different when I sit in training mode.
Because when I practice Marvel, man, I find the cheapest things on accident. I find unblockables on accident. I think
that's just Marvel in general. People just discover shit by accident.
Well,
yeah. Hey, you never know, because I found some things to counter certain characters on accident in Street Fighter as well. So
this is very true, because Mikey hit me with those things before. This is very, very true.
On accident.
But the idea is to really take the time and sit there in training mode, no distractions, and just sit there and practice your character. And you'll sit there and be like, okay, I can do this, and wow, and then you sort of make a connection with your character, and you understand, okay, this is what she can do, and this is what she can't do. For example, Jerry,
Okay, so Mikey, well, 8 Hats has another question. So practice against the character I guess he means like when you practice against the character, playing the character in training mode and setting their computer to hard, or
no.
It's
if you really want to play the computer on hard, you can just do that in versus mode.
Yes.
You can't. I do that sometimes just to practice combos and see if they work. But that's pretty much it. I don't really use the computer all too much. I do, however, record a lot.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Is probably what you would want to mention is a lot of players fail to take fully advantage of the training mode, and especially the recording aspect. So could you kind of maybe just like give a few ideas of like when you're in training mode, like with let's say you're in training mode with Ryu, what would be a couple examples of you using the record function for?
Here's the thing. I like what Lapchi said back in Counter Cup not Counter Cup. I think it was, I forget where I was. I think in Seattle. He said, make sure you don't just go somewhere or do something and kill one bird with that one stone. Try to knock out a lot of birds with that one stone. So in training mode, if you're sitting there practicing your combos, you can't really practice your setups, right?
Mm-hmm.
So instead of having you pick Ryu first and then a dummy, have a character that you want to do combos on, and then Ryu as a computer. And what that does, it allows you to use Ryu as a recording device, so you can practice your setups and your combos, because technically you only have 10 seconds to do your combos, right? Or your setups. So that helps you figure out tight situations where you have to do one frame links, stuff like that, where you have to do a certain setup at a certain time. So it helps you with not only your timing, but also your execution, and also in the heat of battle, if you need to do that one frame link for the most damage for the kill. So that, a lot of people don't really do that. I'm not sure who actually does that, but I found that it's actually very, very easy to do and implement if you just have the other character as the recording device as your main character.
Okay. Mike G, do you want to kind of like... I kind of want to just hear everybody's kind of like, I guess, ways that they practice. So like, I guess give us a couple things that like what do you usually do in training mode when you practice? Like
I'm not gonna lie, I'm one of the people that, in terms of practicing, I don't really know how to practice 100% properly, or take full advantage of the training mode. Um, I have used the recording function. Like Mikey said, usually I'll set the player 2 to my main character, and then usually with off of the back throw because I play Cammy. So I'll do the different setups and see how to block it and stuff like that. There's a lot of times where I'll just go in there and practice all over combos. I'll practice for like 45 minutes, whatever. Just go in there, practice all over combos, and try to get better with the execution part of it. But in terms of like actually like taking advantage of everything training mode has to offer, I'm not that great with it. It's still something I'm learning. So like even this segment, I think can apply to me as well, and it can apply to a lot of players. Beginners and advanced players.
Here's the thing that a lot of players do not do. I feel like I have a board, a little whiteboard that I write FGC related things on. And for example, it says, Ryu option select against Cammy. And that was something that I wanted to work on. If you have a list like that or something to write and keep track of, you'll find training mode a lot more progressive than you really think it would be. So if you find those things that you want to work on, write them down. Maybe later you can do it in that specific character. But just write your ideas down, and it'll help you out a lot. And you'll find a lot more things more organized and more progressive in your practices.
What about you? What about you, Jared? Like, how do you approach the training mode when you go in there?
Okay, well, since you guys were talking about Street Fighter predominantly, I'll use Injustice as an example, since I played that game a lot. Injustice, when I sit in the training mode, the first thing I do with my character is, we're talking about a character, like, we're just talking about general training mode, right? Like, if we've been playing the character already, right? So, if I'll take my character, I'll practice some combos, and I'll look at situations. Like, like, Injustice's training mode is really, really good as far as, like, the recording function and everything like that. So, I use training mode to not only practice combos, but I practice certain situations. I practice to see, okay, what is the spacing? I usually do this. I did this against Superman. I set Superman to record on certain strings, on certain moves, at certain ranges. And then I would see what I can do to punish it on block, or what I can do to avoid it, or anything like that. Setups like that. I try and practice combos first, because I feel like having the consistency of combos down first is the most important thing for me from an execution standpoint. I think having that down where you pretty much not going to drop your combos all like is the most important step. For me at least. I don't know if that applies to you guys. Like, I feel like I need to be able to hit my bread and butters first, because if I can't even hit that, I shouldn't be worried about setups or anything again.
Yep.
I need to be able to do. So I sit there for when I practice Injustice. When I literally sit down and practice that game, I sit there for a good hour or 2 hours. I sit in training mode for about an hour and just practice combos, and then I'll move on and spend like 15 minutes or something on setups, and then I'll move on to something else, like maybe punishing characters, because I still think the biggest thing that I see with newer players that come around that I've played or like I've seen in tournaments, they're more concerned about setups and all this other stuff, but they drop their bread and butter combos, or they drop punishes, and if they didn't drop those punishes or combos, they could have won the game. So I feel like that to me is the biggest thing I practice, is just I make sure I get my combos down, because perfect example, when I went to Wednesday Night Fights this week, I died a couple times because I dropped my combo. I died and I lost the game.
0-2.
And that's what happens when you play that. Like, when the matchup that I had, we were both playing 50-50 characters, so I dropped the combo and I got put into that situation and I didn't get to play again. So I mean that's something that I have to just go back and just keep practicing combos, so that doesn't. So, I mean, obviously that situation is gonna happen, but I want to try and be positive about it and make sure that that doesn't happen as much anymore. Because I think I was more concerned when I was practicing for Wednesday Night Fights. I was more concerned about practicing setups and ambiguous stuff rather than just making sure my combos and everything were 100% down and I felt confident doing. because I started using some new combos that did a little bit more damage that led to some stuff, but I was dropping it. So I should have probably spent more time doing that. And that's how I approach training mode.
And another thing that players can do with training mode is when a lot of players actually see a video that they like, a combo that they like, a player that they like, and they see them do something really cool, they can practice it. It's okay to copy. That's what Tokido says. It's okay to copy. But after that, make sure you have your own take on the character. Otherwise, if you copy, you will just be doing things just because the other player did it or because you saw it in a video. So don't really take that into, don't take that literally. Don't take that literally.
Yeah, it's and then Nick, I just wanted to quickly touch on, because you play Injustice too. Like, how do you approach your training mode methods? Like, do you just practice combos? Like, what do you do?
Most of the time, it's like whatever I feel I need to work on, for that day. Usually it's combos, maybe it's, particular setups. Maybe it's a move with a character that I'm having trouble against, that I can't quite punish. It's whatever's like mostly on my mind at that moment. I guess, so to speak. Like, I never go in there always with like, okay, first I'm gonna do this, then this, then this, or something like that. It's pretty much whatever I feel I need to work on most at the moment, what seems most relevant to me. And in terms of like practicing combos, I'm not like, I don't just go in there and be like, oh, I'm gonna practice, this one, and this, and then I'll do this and that. I kind of like to subscribe to the old Bruce Lee saying of, or maybe it was Bruce Lee, I know, I could be totally wrong and not know what the hell I'm talking about, which is a very good chance. But the saying is, don't fear the man who has practiced 1,000 moves, fear the man who has practiced one move 1,000 times.
I agree with that.
That I do too.
Yeah, that was at the old. That used to be on the wall at the Focus Text building.
Yeah, I
Here's
agree.
here's the thing. I'm almost gonna lose that thought, but like you said, I am always worried about the quality of the time in training rather than the quantity. Definitely, if you're sitting there practicing one combo 1,000 times, it's a lot better than you doing 10,000 combos that one time. Have a little practice regimen or schedule that you do. For example, I was having a lot of trouble with PS3, so I sat down for 2 weeks and I practiced PS3. And lo and behold, it wasn't really PS3. It was me being lazy with my P-links. It was me being lazy with my double P-links. And I fixed that. So you will definitely find some holes in your playstyle if you sit there and take the time to look at your practice.
Okay.
Oh, and then also, I'm sorry. Also, I think LQ Ferry was saying, is there any effective way of using recording device to deal with certain normals? Like, for example, if I try to deal with Evo Ryu's low forward, I feel like the ranges in practice always seems to differ from how they happen in the game, and I give up space in the process of measuring it out. That, my friend, is all experience and fundamentals and spacing. That cannot be practiced in training mode. As much as you can, unless you try, unless you have that, I don't know what it was, but there was this machine or mod that you can practice footies with the computer. You have to practice that with another player, with another person. And unfortunately, that's me. So.
Okay. I guess I have a couple questions that I was given to before the show, that pertains to this. So, I guess we can go over that too. This goes along with like how to practice properly too. So, what are your approaches like? Because online play for like Street Fighter and stuff is really common. So, what are your approaches with online play? Is there a point where it becomes detrimental to one's game? And should I focus on playing with friends who are like quote unquote smart players or better players, or just try and get in as many matches in as possible?
I can address that really easily. But let me go back to the whole training thing. I forgot one thing. If you're doing combos, don't just practice one combo. Practice every situation. That's what Champ says. If you know every situation for that character, X Factor level 1, level 2, level 3, combos that work on this character, combos that work in this character, that will help a lot.
Okay.
A serious amount down the road. But to go back to that question that you asked, if you're practicing online, what I do is I look for the quality of the player as well, but I also look for the quality of the connection. If the person has like I can't obviously play Wolf Chrome because we have terrible connection. He's a good player, but I can't play him. I just can't. We have yellow bar,
No, of
so
course, yeah.
it's not beneficial for me to play against a character like his Viper, for example, having serious lag and trying to learn the matchup. It's just too hard. So look for the quality of the player first, and then look for the quality of the connection, and understand that if you are playing a person like, for example, I'll play Xin Cheng. He's in Texas, yellow bar. I'm like, okay, I'll play him. It's just too hard, right? Because you have to answer. He plays young. You have to answer his dive kicks, and it gets silly afterwards because you get frustrated. You can't answer. You can't do things, and he's just dancing on you. So what you can take with that is, okay, what does he do? What are his positions where he stands, and then play him offline or something like that. So when you go to the tournament, if you see him, say, hey, let's play, or if you see Daigo offline, play him offline. The thing is, you can't really take online too seriously because of the connection. If you had Japanese connection, it'd be better. Korean connection, it'd be better, but we don't. So you have to take it as it is.
Okay. And I wanted to touch on too, a kind of like another way to practice, at least for like I did this for Street Fighter, and you kind of told me this too, is maybe play matches where you don't jump, use only your normals, like maybe don't throw, so you can learn more about your character and like learn certain situations. Like, I mean, do you find that do you find that pretty useful? Like, because I felt like, because I remember you telling me that a while back, and I started doing that with certain characters, and it's really kind of helped my game. So
it definitely does help if you play with not using anti-airs, not using fireballs, not using frame traps, playing defensive, playing offensive, playing both offensive and defensive. It all makes a difference in how you practice and how you gain from that. But like I said, it's online. A lot of players that are very competitive right now and are professionals or in their respective ways, they don't really play online too much. Marvel, for example, you just can't play online. I cannot play Marvel online.
Not anymore.
Street Fighter 4, you can, for matchup knowledge or basic practicing combos, I guess. You really can't take it as seriously as if you were to play offline. For example, if I played a player that just matches short and I get punished every single time online, then I go play him offline and I destroy him, that doesn't really help you, you know? It's very hard to take online and say, hey, I learned this matchup today, or hey, I punished this guy because he kept caught shorting. The lag and the whole frame data changes completely, which it sucks, but it happens. That's what happens. It's kind of like a reverse X Factor. If there's lag, like the frames do not match the frames that, and in the worst way possible too. So
okay.
I don't know.
Well, that's a good point. I kind of use online play just to learn, I guess, variety of matches, but also just because I practice certain stuff. Like, when playing Injustice online, I'll be honest, like, Injustice is bad online.
It's booty.
The connection
Butt
and
cheeks.
also the level of competition is really, really bad. So when I play...
Needless to say.
Well, when I play, I kind of try and just use certain stuff and trying to like build my, like, let's say I'm only gonna do this, or I'm gonna try this and see if this works. You know, I go into playing online games with a game plan, and I trying to learn some stuff from it. So that's what I take out of online. I never just it's still good to play online if you don't have a chance to play players locally, but you need to. Online is still good. It's a good tool, but you do need to play those offline games as well. Mike, do you have anything to add? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mikey.
I am 12 actually said I don't really agree with playing without doing certain things, like without jumping or without throwing. Like I said, if you have a person that has a really good connection and they lack the quality of a player that's competitive, you have to handicap yourself by doing things just to practice. That's just there's no way to find perfect connection with everybody. You have to find ways to improve yourself in certain ways, a handicap is not a bad way.
Mhm.
I don't see it hurting your game. If you stop using step kick and instead using your normals and playing footsies, that doesn't hurt you. It makes you a better player, right?
That's true.
I can agree with that.
Mike G, you got anything to throw in to the fire?
Nah, you guys got everything
Okay.
perfect. I don't got much to add to that one.
Okay.
Right, Mike G doesn't have to talk.
We got another. All right. I have a couple more questions, and
I'm
then
sorry, that was mean.
it's all good. Don't forget, guys. You guys can ask questions too. Don't be shy. Ask anything. A couple
Seriously, ask us anything. We will try to answer.
Fighting game is
Yo, we can't talk about that yet. All right.
What are you
Anyways,
talking about?
I had a couple questions. I had a couple questions from George that he gave it to me before the show earlier in the week, and a couple questions just like popped. What's your biggest way to deal with bad matchups? So to speak.
You asking me?
Or anybody could take these questions. It's not just you. Anybody can answer these questions. It's just like in general, like
Well, then I would love to chime in on that one.
Sure.
In terms of dealing with your bad matchups, the best advice that I can offer is to actually, whatever character it is that you're having trouble with and really playing against, go into training mode, learn how to play that character. You know, find out what makes them tick. Find out, why what they do works, and find out, what doesn't work with it. How to properly punish it. It's like, if you have this one character that you fear, that you're having trouble with, that's just giving you a hard time, day in and day out, take what I like to call the Batman Begins approach. Yeah, I'm gonna work Batman into this because, it's friggin' Batman. Batman's awesome, but it's like the line that he says in Batman Begins. He says, when Alfred, he asks him, why bats, Master Wayne? And he looks at him and he goes, because bats frighten me. It's time my enemies share my dread. Become what it is that you fear in order to better understand it and use it to your advantage.
I never knew that. I'm not a big comic book person, so I never knew that, actually.
Well,
Yeah.
it's probably
I never knew
one.
that.
It was one of the good analogies in the whole trilogy. It was really good.
That's pretty.
I do agree with the playing the character that's giving you trouble in training mode and just learning some stuff.
Yeah.
Because that really helps. Like, right, Mikey? Like, I'm pretty sure you do that all the time with like Viper,
I got so
Adon.
many characters.
Yeah, that's why you play so many characters, and it's going to take
Adon.
time. The biggest thing is it's going to take time to learn. You're not going to sit. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mikey.
Here's the thing, Gustavo. He lost to, I believe it was Ricky and Justin constantly, and IM12 can admit that Rufus versus Abel is a terrible matchup. It's terrible. So what he did was he learned the character. Another thing you can do is not just learn the character, you can actually start using the character as a secondary.
Mm-hmm.
It all helps you out in the long run. You can. There's some things that I do. For example, like if I were to play against an 8-down player, I would just sit there and play against the 8-down player until I can get it right. Chances are you won't really win most. It could go 50-50 or he could start beating you. But the idea is to practice things until you get things at a certain level in the way you like it. If you're playing a matchup and it's just terrible, chances are you're not playing the matchup correctly.
Okay.
On top of that, it's a bad matchup. You know what I mean? It's gonna go downhill from there. Like I like to say, a person that doesn't know the matchup, it's a bad matchup. It's 7-3. A person that knows the matchup a little bit and is it's a 6-4. Person that knows the matchup completely, it's a 5-5. Like me and Ryan F Champ, I think at some point it's 5-5. Right now it's 5-5. A little bit in Dawson's favor, but it's 5-5. If I was playing Ryan back when he beat Daigo, it'd be 6-4. Because I didn't know the matchup back then, and his character was a little bit stronger, and he had a lot more knowledge, and he was practicing the game. So 6-4 back then. Now it's 5-5 because he doesn't practice this game. So you have to take that into accountability, whether the player plays the matchup correctly or not.
Okay.
Okay.
LQ
JR 's got a
Flurry.
question.
Yeah, he says, how do you go about forming a game plan for a matchup? I think this is a really good question.
I agree too. This is also a very good question.
Well, I'm trying to think of how I formulate
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how.
forming my game plan. Okay. Well, I can't use Street Fighter in terms because my knowledge is like not the best. But for Injustice, I'll use Injustice as a perfect example. Injustice, like, alright, Black Adam is Killer Frost's worst matchup in Injustice. That matchup is matchup bad. It is, like, now with the nerfs, it could be potentially 5-5. Before, it was 6-4, potentially 7-3. Well, what I do is I study the character. I look at what the character can do, like traits, like their special moves, things like that. And then I also just go ahead and see what their frame data is. Frame data is really big. I didn't start reading frame data until a few years ago, and I honestly it really helps me knowing when I learn the frame data. Now I know what I can punish and things like that. So I take that into account to learning the matchup. Also, I can't be the only one when studying a matchup. I watch a lot of videos of other people playing that character, and not just against my character that I'm using, but just overall to see what the character can do and like all these other setups and things. Because I feel like that really helps out too. Not knowing just how it plays against your character, but against everybody else.
Hey, I think we missed a question.
Did we?
Is it this one? How do you go about forming a game
That's
plan?
the question I just answered. Oh god!
God damn it, Mike.
Oh no! Facepalm, facepalm, facepalm. Okay, I already explained my starting of formulating a game plan. Mikey, how do you formulate a game plan? And then we'll let Nick and then Mike G have a say. God.
Well,
with the awareness.
Please, not all at once.
Yeah, seriously. Do you want? I don't think the stream wants to hear me talk about Injustice. It killed the stream.
Those
you
reactions.
know, here's the thing. I like to do what Chow has taught me. It's like practice the things that you can do in the matchup and practice the things that you can't do in the matchup. He likes to go about the matchup by saying, okay, I can do this at certain times, and he can do this at certain times. Formulate a game plan from what your character's normals can do and the other character's normals. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
That's just the very basic. That's the very basic and very broad
Okay.
answer.
Mike G.
I play Cammy, so my game plan is to knock him down and go nuts. That's my game plan.
Oh, Mikey. Tommy
okay.
asks, be more specific.
Be more specific. Well, for example, the Ryu Abel matchup, I can't really just walk up and low forward him and fireball, you know. So there's certain spots where I can pick and choose and stick out a normal, and also whether the character can go through my fireballs, whether the character likes to jump, whether I can't throw fireballs there. There's a lot of things. It all translates to you having a certain idea for that specific range.
Mm-hmm.
That boils down to fundamentals and footsies and spacing, the big three, and your gun game, of course.
Okay.
It's I can't really explain it in like 2 minutes. It's a really big topic.
It's a conversation to have. Like maybe we can later on talk about that as part of like maybe a whole episode. In a
Yeah,
sense.
I think for one episode maybe Jard and Mikey get together and run it through on in the same room.
Yeah, that we can definitely do that in the future.
A game plan is like
That would involve you being in the same room as Mikey, though.
Yeah, but he actually taught me how to play certain characters, so I owe him some gratitude.
here's the thing. If you're talking about a general game plan for a character or against a character, it's like me teaching you the matchup. That's a whole story in itself.
Now that's very true. Okay. Well, let's see. Does anybody else have anything? Because I have some other questions to bring up too. But yeah, if the chat has any more questions, please throw them out. Another question that George kind of like brought up to my attention was your thoughts on character loyalty versus just picking a top tier. This is kind of a little off topic from practicing, but it was something that he wanted to address. So I
don't. No, man, character loyalty. I don't have any character loyalty at all.
Do you have any loyalty?
Oh, of course.
My loyalty lies with the bat, but I will dabble with other characters. But when it's when it's showtime, when it's all or nothing, it's just me and Batman.
Hey, I am 12 said character loyalty is for blank. Doesn't he play one character only?
He could just pick. Hey, I don't know.
That's not really. Anyway, to chime in the whole character loyalty. It depends. If you're playing to win, you really can't really go to character loyalty unless you really just do not care. Like Daigo, he doesn't care. He's already made it.
Well, Ryu's also top tier.
Yeah.
Ryu's still top tier.
It's so funny when I watch videos and people are like, "Man, that's cheap," and Ryu's just doing his thing. I'm like, "What the heck? Come on, it's not cheap."
Yeah.
But he's just sitting there throwing, fireballs, and there's like absolutely nothing you can do about that. I mean, come on, play with honor, dude.
It's like what Farouk said. It's a 50-50. Is he gonna throw a fireball? Is he gonna throw
50-50 fireballs.
God.
No, you know, it's funny because character loyalty in top tier is always a huge discussion everywhere you go. I don't know, like I guess I'm somewhat of a character loyalist, but it depends on the game. Like,
because you played Rose forever.
I played Rose forever, and Rose is always.
So let's ask you, why did you always play Rose?
Okay.
Why?
I picked Rose because, alright, real talk, when Street Fighter 4 first came out, I picked Cammy and Fei Long first. I did.
Okay.
I picked Cammy and Fei Long because I always liked Cammy. I always really did like Cammy, so I picked it first. I didn't, and then I picked Fei Long because, it's freaking Fei Long. He was cool. Then I started dabbling into Rose, and then I don't know, I liked the way that she played. And
okay, but before you, why did you quit? Why did you quit those two characters? Did it just not click with you?
It just didn't click with me, and I liked playing Rose more than I played the other two. Now that I look back on it, hell, I picked the wrong. I made the wrong choice. I should have stuck with Cammy and Fei Long, but no, I picked.
Late now, motherfucker.
I picked her because she was fun, and I didn't think about tiers at the time. Now for this game, as it evolved, I still stuck with her because she got better, and I think that also goes along with the game about the game being balanced as well. Because you look at Marvel 3 is like there's only a handful of characters that are viable, so to speak. So I play
Magneto.
Yeah, I play top tier in that game.
Virgil.
Like, I play Virgil. Like, I play Virgil now. I didn't want to play Virgil at first. I used to play Phoenix. So, like, I picked... Because I want to compete. And also, too, it's a different element of a game because, yeah, you want to play someone that you like, but there's also the fact that, yeah, I may like Shinko or I may like Iron Fist, but I'm certainly not going to win. I can put in all the time in the world, but if I have to run into a Virgil at the end, I'm going to lose. Unless I'm Justin Wong, like, so like I think it all depends on the, for me it all depends on the game, and it also depends on like when I'm going to travel to tournaments and stuff. If I'm driving 3 hours, granted this is ironic because this actually happened. I don't want.
And you went 0-2.
I don't want to drive 4 hours and go 0-2, but
you did.
Yeah, I did go 0-2. Yeah, it was.
I'm the best.
We can money match if you want, but
here's the thing with the character loyalty.
It would be my pleasure, brother.
Okay, go ahead, Mikey.
You can take it in a very good way. For example, if I played Sentinel for how long did I play him for? Since the beginning of Marvel.
Yeah, you played him since the beginning, and you probably switched because you played Sentinel for at least a year after Ultimate was out. And then you haven't been playing Virgil for more than not even a year yet. I think.
Yeah, because when I came to Korea, he was still playing Sentinel.
Yeah, because you probably been playing Virgil for not even a year yet.
And the idea with that was stick with the first character that you played, learn him or her to the best of your ability, and try to max out that character, and then
drop them.
Well,
depends on whether the character is really strong or not, but like I said, learn the character. Like, you can't just go and playing Cammy. and then switching to Akuma when you haven't learned everything about Cammy. It can go either way, whether it's a low tier character or a high tier character. It doesn't really matter. Learn the character to the best of your ability, and then switch. That way, not only do you take what you learn from that character, you can even, like for a person that plays Cammy or Akuma, I'm sorry, they don't know much about mix-ups or applying pressure or conditioning your opponent, which Cammy can do. You can take that and be a better player than another Akuma player, for example. So definitely a perspective that you should definitely take.
Okay.
I think another thing with character loyalty too is that, like, some people just don't have fun playing any other characters, and it just not everyone's looking to be super competitive.
Believe it or not, that's not really true. It's just because they're just too lazy. Because I was too lazy to learn some characters, and then when I played them, the character was really fun. You don't know until you try.
Actually, and I can attest
You
to
know,
that
a lot
too.
of people always say that. A lot of people say, like, "Oh, I don't have fun with any other characters. That's why I only play this character. I don't care if they're bad or good.
I
enjoy playing this character. That's why I see.
I can honestly.
That's why I just brought it up.
Sorry, Mike.
Go ahead.
Well, I can honestly attest to that because Mikey, you remember when I was like, I don't want to play Virgil ever. And then I started playing Virgil, and the more and more I started playing Virgil, I actually had fun with the character because I like the character's combos.
Yeah.
The character's
Nah, you just sold out.
no, the character's combos are actually doing sword
Dirty
moves
ass sellout.
is if that makes me win, then I don't care. I'll take that and run. No, but like yeah, it's.
Time Jim said. Oh, go ahead.
Oh well, I'll get to that question. I just wanted to. That's another thing too. People who say like, you know, I won't have as fun. You have to play the character, and from a character from a competitive player and a tournament standpoint, I look at it this way. Okay, yes, obviously there's a high tier and a low tier. If you choose to play a low tier character, you have no right to complain. You have no right to complain about. Let's say if you play Iron Man, you have no right to complain about Magneto. You picked Magneto. He's there to play. Yep. The biggest thing was Marvel 3 when Marvel 3 first came out and people complained about Phoenix. If you didn't like it, pick Phoenix. Easy answer. Like if not, then you sit there and you learn about the matchup. Plain and simple. Like that's the biggest thing. But anyways, so let's look at Time Jump's question. So what exactly makes a low tier character a low tier character? Is it because people don't play them much?
I can tell you about that one.
Go ahead.
The game mechanics, for example, in Street Fighter, a character that has maybe a 5-frame jab and a 5-frame short versus a character that has a 3-frame jab and a 3-frame short, that's definitely going to make a difference. It's not really about whether people play that character. How many Ryu players are there in the world? Not too many.
When you actually think about it,
successful Ryu players.
Yeah.
Let's say it that way. Yes, I guess whatever.
Not really a lot.
Yeah.
The character is the most played character in the world. I think.
Yeah.
Ryu. Yeah. But how many of them are successful? Now let's look at what else. Zangief players. How many of them are successful? It's only like a handful, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And those characters
Aqua Silk.
those characters aren't the strongest, but they aren't the weakest. How many successful Akumas are there? A very strong character in the game, yet there's only a handful of players that do very good with Akuma. How many successful Zero players are there? Zero's one of the strongest players, one of the strongest characters in Marvel, yet not too many success with Zero. It all comes down to...
No, go ahead.
It all comes down to you using the character to the best of your ability. But
yeah, that's
a low tier character cannot do that because they're limited. Because either their frames are weaker than others, the recovery from certain moves, they lack certain things for certain matchups. It just all boils down to all the character itself, and that's what we consider as low or high tier.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you know, truly a character is only as good as the person that's playing them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, like George, I'll give you a perfect example for like Injustice. Aquaman is the best character in the game because he has offensive and defensive tools. Killer Frost is up there too because of her 50-50s. But you look at potentially some of the lower tier characters in the game of... I'm trying to think who's that bad. Joker's down there, Lex Luthor. It's simply because they don't have the tools to compete against these top tier. That's mainly what their low tier is. Like, I mean, they're viable. They could still be played, but they lack certain traits and characteristics that can help them compete in those tougher matchups.
And even if you were to pick Joker and Lex Luthor, you'd be working a lot harder than other players.
Exactly. That's another thing. It's not like you can't win with those characters because people put in work, but you have to also think you have to put in a lot more time than if you were to play a different character.
And that goes back to you learning the character to the best of your ability, and then maybe switching to a different character that has a better chance, or that does better in that matchup per se.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I would agree with that. Let's see here. Let's see. Do we have any other? Well, I'm looking for any other questions. Like, is there anything else, like, as far as like practicing properly or anything that you wanted to add? Any of you guys?
You could. I'm very lucky with the people that I practice with. My brother-in-law, who lives with me, he plays Ryu. And so what happens is I learn characters that play against his Ryu, and I teach him the matchup. So if you can teach somebody something, then that means you understand it. So if I'm able to teach him, I'll understand the matchup more than somebody else that just plays Ryu and knows the matchup. Because I play the character and I know what to do for Ryu's sake. So it definitely helps out a lot. So I'm very fortunate with that. So if you have a training partner, I used to practice with Javier a lot, and that's why I was able to learn the Akuma matchup so well. He studied Tokido, he studied anybody that played Akuma, and we took that and we fought each other and we practiced and we gained a lot of knowledge from that. And I feel like that's what gave me the tools to beat Tokido that Canada Cup that one day. So very fortunate.
We have a question from the stream from 8 Hats. Do you think it's possible to have an asymmetrical fighting game that is balanced without a tier list? Has this been tried before, or is that an oxymoron?
Isn't Tekken like really balanced and it's still a good game?
No, the Mishimas are still top tier.
But
There's still a top tier. There's still a top tier in Tekken. It's a really well balanced game, but there is still a top tier.
I think Demonic in the chat made the best point. You cannot have a game without a tier list because every character can't play the same.
Yeah.
Every character is gonna have different characteristics, different things. Otherwise, why would you play a game that everybody does the same exact thing?
Everyone has a
It's
three
kind of like saying,
I'm strong.
it's kind of like saying, let's play Halo 1 with pistols.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I will kick all your asses.
I will play that right now.
If you want a game without a tier list, just go play SF1 because you play against nobody.
Yeah, but like truly, there isn't a game that you can't have a tier list because there's always going to be a quote unquote top tier and a bottom tier. It's a fact of that even if there's those top tier and bottom tiers still exist, games like Tekken's still really balanced. Like a lot of the characters are viable from what I hear. And then I honestly also believe that in Street Fighter 4 2012, I feel like the game is pretty balanced. Like, I mean, I don't know, maybe you guys disagree. I think the game is pretty balanced. Like most of the characters can compete. And you're always going to have a character that's the worst that obviously may not win, but if the game so far is like most of the characters can fight and it's pretty balanced, like I mean that's fine. Like, but every game's gonna have a tier list.
You know what kind of upset me about the whole changing unblockables is that I know how to block unblockables now, and then they change it. It's kind of like they didn't give us a chance to learn how to block it.
So is that kind of like the same thing?
Too bad.
Is that kind of like the same thing where you're hoping that Marvel doesn't get patched and they take out TEC Infinites?
Honestly, if they keep patching things, you won't ever get to see a game evolve like Marvel 2 or other games that have been around for, like for example, Super Turbo. That game's been out for, I don't think it had any patches at all. Sure, the game was out there and people just stuck with it and learned to beat things or to pick up the characters. That's just the nature of the game. And then we have this generation where everybody just complains and then it gets changed the next day. It's kind of silly.
Then they proceed to complain again.
Yeah.
There's always something to complain about, and I have to say, just suck it up and play. Like if you don't have fun playing, then don't play the game. Honestly.
It just goes hand in hand though with like, I mean, it's in this age everything just gets patched, so it's just like, I mean, nobody wants to learn. Everybody wants like stuff handed to them. Like that's like in this generation, and that's kind of true because like patching, like I can take Injustice for as an example. Like that game, the game came out in April and it's seen so many patches already. Like, I mean, people complain about everything. So all right, let's take this and let's fix this in this balance patch. But then the new one comes out, and after they fix, so to speak, and then man, there's something else someone complains about. It's just like just play the game. Like nobody wants to keep playing a game that changes every 3 months. You know?
No, I'm not gonna play the game. I'm gonna sit here and bitch.
Yeah, like just
You can't make me.
just don't like. That's the biggest thing is like people just are lazy and they don't want to learn. You know?
Yeah.
But let me see.
Here's the thing. Let me mention something. If you're not frustrated in training mode, or if you're not frustrated in a match, then you're not doing something that's bettering you. In training mode, if you're getting frustrated during combo or trying to do something, then you're not practicing correctly. If you have to get frustrated and you have to lose and you have to understand that some parts of the game are very difficult, that's gonna make you better in the long run. So if unblockables are really hard to deal with, then you'll try to find a way. A lot of players have found different ways to avoid them. And I'm good.
No, I was gonna agree with you. Yeah, like Latif put out a video saying how to block certain unblockables, and like people are
Justin used it against Muggle.
Yeah, people are putting out stuff out there for people to learn, but instead of like learning it, they just want to complain. But let me ask you this, and this can go for everybody. Did you want to see unblockables taken out before they announced it?
Me?
Yeah. Did you want to see unblockables taken out?
Honestly, no, because I have a ton. I have a ton with Ryu and other characters that I will not mention.
I play Cammy, so I'm sad that they're getting
No, before it was like, hey, what's your game plan? And he goes, I play Cammy.
I play Cammy. He's like, so hey, how do you play this? How do you play this matchup? Yeah, it's like, how do you play this matchup? Oh, I play Cammy. So if I knock you down, you lose. Oh, God.
Knock down or a back throw.
A base demonic says, I'm indifferent now. Seth doesn't have any as far as I can find, so it's whatever. Unblockables or mix-ups? What are you talking about?
I think unblockables.
I don't think he has any unblockables. He has ambiguous diving setups.
Even Rose has an unblockable. I have one against Guy. Yeah. So cool.
Filipino man just put out a video too, I think showing some unblockables.
Yeah, I showed JR that.
Hey, you know why he did that? He decided to share his tech. It was because I believe Dark Jawa, right? The Chinese Ken player?
Mm-hmm.
He just mashed EXDP through all of his setups. And some of them do not work.
Oh man, that's crazy. Yeah, because I'm actually really surprised that he put out those videos because he usually.
I think everyone was.
He hides his tech. So
that's another thing that kind of is a.
Okay. That's something else that I wanted to talk about too because I had that written down too. I'm sorry. I have like 3 different sheets in front of me. So all right. So what are your thoughts about like, we want to make this scene better and we want to make everybody get better on a playing level. What do you think about players like hiding tech instead of just releasing everything so people can learn it and then come up with something new?
Here's the thing.
Go for it.
Oh. Here's the thing. In Japan, right before SBO, nobody plays anybody. Nobody. So
Really?
That's smart. That's really smart.
Save that
But
shit for
SBO is gone
nationals,
now.
dog.
Yeah, SBO is gone now. So, but if you really want to help your scene get better, it depends. Like for me, I wouldn't share any tech that I have created with anybody else but Fezza until I find out what's wrong with it and what's not. But that's just my idea. And then once I actually perform it, the chances are I'll tell you what it is because I don't really care. If the tech is like impossible to deal with, then it's impossible to deal with. If it's something that you can get out of, then I'll tell them. They'll get better. I get better. That's just my thoughts. Yeah, who really cares if they hide tech? Honestly, it all comes down to Street Fighter. If you have good fundamentals, they can't even land that tech. It doesn't matter. But if the tech is really, really broken, like an unblockable that cannot be blocked, that can be something.
That's a good point. No, it was just something I wanted to bring up because that's something that people also ask about too. Is like about like hiding stuff, but I mean, I think it just depends because it's true what IM12 says. Like, if you put hours in to come up with that setup and it's really good, why should you just explain it to somebody right away? Hey, this is it.
That
But
makes sense.
but also
I never thought of it that way.
but also at the same time, I can see the other side of the conversation. I can also see the other side of the conversation where it's, you know, if you tell these guys this setup and how to get out of it, that makes you have to step your stuff up and can make you better too.
Yeah.
I could see it work both ways. That's the biggest thing. I could see it work both ways. Is there anything else you guys have questions about? Anything in particular about practicing or any FGC related stuff?
If we got anything.
Yeah, if I mean, I don't know if you guys might.
Anything on the Twitter? Nothing.
Let me check. If you guys have anything else like to ask, like, you know, or like anything else you wanted to share, Mikey, or like Mike or Nick or anything like that, just please, you know.
Not at the moment.
I guess.
Like in terms of like the tag, Jard pretty much said everything I was gonna say with like how it can help you improve the community and yourself.
Tommy, we
You think
cannot.
I play Cammy.
Yeah, I play Cammy. I'm gonna like make that a shirt. I play Cammy. That's it.
Mikey's story time is coming up soon. That's how we close off.
That's
every
how we
show.
close out the every. All right, this is the thing. Every FGC Talk episode will end with a Mikey story.
Story time with Mikey.
And,
Which story should I tell?
no, Tommy, we cannot talk about the million. We cannot talk about that. That
Did we talk about the one low forward?
Oh God.
No, we did.
We talked about the one low forward.
We did. Alright.
Hey,
But
would
yeah.
you take the 10 million? I sure as hell would.
We can't discuss that.
Which
I mean,
which story
I don't
do you
think
guys
it
wanna
would-
hear?
Well, whatever. The stream wants a Mikey story. You know, something.
What type of story do you guys want on stream?
The really gay one, which is all of them.
You better have a storytime graphic or storytime with Mikey graphic. Dude, that's on the way. I'm gonna make a storytime graphic with Mikey.
Oh God.
What a way to end the show, Kappa. Well, hey, if you guys have any other questions or anything like that, feel free. Like other than that, like we kind of like talked about all the stuff that we wanted to address as far as like practicing properly, the state of the FGC, you know, Ultra Street Fighter 4, the changes. I mean, I don't know what else as far as like practicing stuff we can go into, but yeah, I guess Mikey, you have the floor if you have a Mikey.
All right, guys. Here comes story time with Mikey.
Story time with
Well,
Mikey.
By my customs.
Well, this is
Right,
the
yeah,
part where I
Rocky.
leave.
Which event do you guys want me to tell a story about?
Well,
Any.
depends. You have to give us two story options. We'll let the stream decide. Give us two.
Honestly, I could.
It's a choose your own adventure novel.
Landhammer?
Landhammer?
You want me to tell about Landhammer?
Is it a not safe for work story?
Does it matter?
No, it doesn't matter.
I don't think that's an appropriate one. So let's,
It's 11:30 on a Saturday night. We're like HBO, man. You never know what's gonna happen.
He said it. Cody said.
I can tell you more about Canada Cup when me and Javier went.
Oh wait, I think I know this story. Yes, you should tell this one. Go ahead.
Okay.
This isn't
here
the
we
same.
go.
This isn't the same one. This isn't the same one.
Dang it.
This is a bad story. It's a bad story. So we were eating right in front of our what's it called? What is the thing where when you stand right where the plane is supposed to depart?
Mm-hmm.
What is that? What is the word for that?
Terminal.
The terminal. We're eating right next to the terminal, and the lady was calling our name for our flight because we were about to miss the flight, right?
Mm-hmm.
But she was saying our names wrong because she had, I don't know what she had. She was saying our names wrong, so we ended up missing our flight, having to pay like extra. I don't know what it was. It was the worst. It was like the worst ending to Canada Cup ever, to a good event. And so we stayed. I think Javier called in for work. I had to call in for work, and it was just such a hit to our wallets. And then, well, I guess I can say another one is when we were.
I was gonna say that story was whack.
First, how were they saying your names? That you got confused.
They were saying my real name.
Ah.
They weren't
Oh.
saying Mikey Chia. They were saying like my first name, Putivath. and she was saying completely wrong. And then she couldn't even say cheer right. I don't know what she was saying. It was a bad ending. But I guess a more happier ending, I guess, is when we went to Costco. Yeah.
I know where this is going.
we went to Costco at Canada Cup, and we didn't have a car, so we were walking around in the freaking snow, and I had Chucks on. So think about that. I didn't have boots. I had Chucks. My feet were freaking freezing, and they were soaked, right? And so we get there. We're like, oh man, what are we gonna buy? We're gonna buy some granola bars and some water. So yeah, sure, let's buy some granola bars and water. We walk out. I'm like, all right, so sweet. Where's the car? We don't even have a car, so we had to carry all the things that we bought around all the way back to the hotel. And it was freaking like it was so cold that we couldn't carry the things. Like we were carrying water, right? We had to switch back and forth because our hands were freezing. It felt like we were gonna lose our hands. Tournament, so. Yeah, that's been much it.
Bodied. Oh man. Oh gosh. That's hilarious.
And I pretty much had to. Every single day that we went to the Canada Cup venue, I had to put the vacuum in both my shoes. Oh, not the vacuum, but the hair blow dryer, because it screwed my shoes.
That's horrible.
Oh jeez. Yeah. That's bad. Adventures in Canada. Well, man.
Yeah. So definitely. Oh, and and then we pretty much, like, I got paid the day after Canada Cup, right?
Mm-hmm.
So our resources for food were very limited. So guess what we ate every single day for the next 2 days?
I'm pretty sure it wasn't Chipotle.
It wasn't Chipotle. it was McDonald's.
Oh,
And
hey, the hot and spicy McChicken. Hey.
Six
Oh
spicy
yeah,
chicken?
yeah. That's a story I got for next episode. How about when we went to McDonald's at Evo last year? That was
Well, we can
fun.
talk about it now.
You know what? Hey.
Okay, you know what, let's talk about that one. I like that.
We have a good story. Okay, so Evo 2012.
2012.
Me, Nick, Mikey, we're all leaving the ballroom to go to McDonald's to get something for dinner. So Mikey and I are standing in line. We're trying to decide what we're gonna get to eat. Mikey looks at me and goes, "I'm gonna get 6 hot and spicy McChickens."
No. I said 4. I was like 4, and then I was like, nah.
No, yeah,
6.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, you're right. You're like, I'm gonna get 4. I was like, and then you said 6. I just look at you like, what are you talking about, dude? That's so much food. You're not gonna be able to eat this. What the heck, man? So he orders it. We go back to the room. This guy literally eats one, takes a bite out of the second one, and thought he was going to die. He's like, oh my god.
No, I didn't think I was gonna die, dude. I started.
You were on the floor. You look like you were going to die.
I was sitting on the floor. Okay, I was eating on the floor, and I was like, man, these things are hot. Like, they're really spicy. And then I think it was Tan. He was like, what are you talking about? I go, here, try it. He goes, it's not even hot. I go, I think I'm having heartburn. And I was like, what the heck? I didn't know anything about heartburn. So.
Oh my god. He literally was just like, he was dying. He's like, I can't.
He was dying.
He's like,
That's when I learned that Mikey can't handle spicy food.
He was like, I can't handle this. Oh god.
This shit's not even spicy either.
No, the combination of spicy and oil really messes me up. I didn't really think it was gonna be that oily and spicy. I guess I don't know.
On a side note,
I saw Tommy, like, he wrote about the McDonald's. I forgot that McDonald's screwed Tommy over too, because he never got his order or something.
Wait, what? Really?
No.
Remember they didn't call numbers, like, they just, like, called the meal.
Oh yeah.
So, like, you had to listen for your meal, and he was, like, all salty about it.
No, because some guy picked up his food.
Yeah.
Some random
I remember this now.
No.
I just
Hey,
remember him, like, so mad.
hey, I had a good experience with that McDonald's. You know why? Because I just got a drink, and they had Fruitopia. I discovered, after like so many years of thinking that drink was gone from the face of the earth, that this McDonald's in Las Vegas had goddamn Fruitopia. I just stood there in front of the drink fountain in awe of what I was seeing. I filled that thing up.
Everybody in their mind was salty. Like,
except me. I was just going back to the room, drinking my Fruitopia, having the time of my life.
That reminds me. I just had a McChicken just a while ago with no mayo, with some cheese. That's pretty good. I liked it.
And
didn't
Tommy,
have,
man.
He didn't have heartburn. I
I forgot.
Didn't
Tommy tried to reason with the workers too.
What did he say to them?
I think if I remember correctly, he told me that he tried to tell him like, why don't you guys just call out the numbers instead of the meal? Because like the meals are common things.
He's telling them how to work.
That's what he said. I told the workers, and they were just dicks.
It says, Mikey, when we were at the MC room at Evil.
Dun dun dun.
Where the F did you? Alright, so.
I guess another story time with Xsk Samurai. Another story time.
Alright, so. This is how I got severely sick after Evil. Like, bad sick. Like, super bad. I think it was Cody, and I forgot who else was staying with him. Who else stayed with you? Who else was staying with you? I fell asleep on the couch after playing. Was it you and Tommy? Or no, it was you and... Was it just you?
I don't know. I wasn't there at Evo, so I couldn't answer that.
Oh, I'm pretty sure Tommy was with us. Yeah. So...
Yo, the 12-year-old going on a rampage in Vegas. Look out.
So it was me and Tommy were like, alright, we're gonna get some drinks and some food, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, those drinks for a week. But we decided to... I don't know what we were doing. We were supposed to get something for Cody. We went to go buy some drinks. We got some drinks. I ended up sharing a drink with somebody and I got sick. That was the worst idea ever. I was actually drinking everybody's drink. I don't know why.
Wow.
We went to get food, and then... Oh, Mark, he was so red. We didn't know what was wrong with him, right? So, and then he fell asleep for like a second. You know Mike, right? The Zero player?
Mm-hmm.
He fell asleep for a second, and he woke up like 2 minutes later, and his face was white. Like, he was not red anymore. So I guess if you ever have the freaking Asian flush, just go to sleep, I guess. But we came back, and then we forgot about Cody.
Dang.
Like, Cody, what's up, man? He's like, where the hell did you guys go? You supposed to get me something. You're like, oh shoot, we got Cody.
You know, oh my God, Mikey.
Hmm?
No, it made me think of a story that you. Oh man, okay. This could be the only story that I will tell that I'm still legitimately salty about this to this day.
Which story?
NCR 2013 this year. Mikey's about to go play. He's waiting to play his top 8 match to get into top 8 for Marvel. He goes, hey, would you do me a favor? Go down the street to Carl's Jr. and go get me some food while I wait. I said, you know what? I'm a good friend. I said, sure. Okay, so I go out. I go get the food. I come back. I'm walking up the stairs to the ballroom. I'm hearing everybody go, getting hype. Yeah, cheering. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Fucking Mikey comes out. Dude, you just missed Chris G. Got beat by Senior Taxi.
Senior Taxi.
Oh.
You missed that match?
Yes, because freaking Mikey's like, hey, go get me some food. I'm really hungry and I can't leave because they call my match. I'm gonna get DQ'd. That's what I get for being a good friend. I missed the freaking.
That was like the hypest. That was the hypest match of that tournament.
I missed the Senior Taxi pop off. Like.
Wow, thanks a lot, Obama.
Yeah, like, oh my God, like if it wasn't bad enough the day before that I got screwed out of playing Momochi because of Mikey, I got screwed out of watching that match too. Like, oh.
I haven't heard that story. That's the first one for me.
Dude, like,
that's hilarious.
No, I didn't even think about it until he said we left, and then I was thinking, I was like, oh yeah, Mikey freaking screwed me over. He screwed me over, and I didn't get to see the hypest match at NCR 2013. Like,
Okay, let's have a little debate. To end the show.
Okay.
Little Caesars. Godlike.
No.
No, you
No.
just said Little Caesars.
What?
No, okay, wait. Little Caesars is godlike for the price.
Yes,
That's
it is
about
godlike for the
it.
price.
Like if you're hungry and like you just like got $5 and want some food, like Little Caesars is godlike because it's fast. 'Cause you don't have to wait.
Yes, but if you've eaten it when you were little, it's gonna be godlike when you get older, obviously because of nostalgia, right?
Yeah, of course.
See?
Are we talking about nostalgia? Is this is where we're going with this nostalgia?
No, but like the thing is too, like if you get like a Little Caesars pizza for $5, like that'll feed you for like 2 days, yo. That's like $5 for 2 days of food. Like,
well, for me, that's
like good for the price.
Yeah, for me, it's like a meal and a half.
That's like I want really good pizza though, you know, like I'll drop it.
Yeah.
But like if you're just hungry now and you're just feeling pizza and you don't really care, then Little Caesars got like.
Yeah,
it's good for the price though.
But in terms of pizza, you know, it's not like.
It's not
like
good.
there's
It's
way
not the
better
best-
pizza out there.
It's not the best pizza, but it's good for the price. It's kind of like
Yeah,
for
you
the
guys-
price.
Yo, who downs that whole pizza by themselves? Yo, that thing's pretty big. Like that stuff lasts me 2 days, at least. Like you know, dinner and then lunch for the next day.
Look who you're talking to
Yes.
though.
I have a black hole in my stomach.
Mikey eats, dude. Mikey eats everything, man. Like it's. Oh man, like JR's pizza though. No real talk.
That pizza is
godlike.
the best.
Yo, JR's pizza
What
is
is that
godlike.
place again? I forgot. What is the place?
I don't remember JR's place at the top of my head, but that pizza is godlike. It is too good.
How can you say
That is
I love Papa John's.
that is a good question. That's how we're gonna end the show, and no questions asked. How could you how could you say McDonald's is godlike, but you say Robert Tito sucks? That is a perfect analogy.
Who said Robert Tito's is
Mikey said that.
Mikey?
Hey, Mike G, you can't talk. You hate Mexican food.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
That's not true. I don't like. I love Mexican food now.
Wow.
It's
What
the best, yo. It's the best. It's
What
number
the
one.
heck? What happened there?
Korea happened.
Made him realize how much he actually liked it when he didn't have access to it anymore.
Yo,
Look at the
stream.
hate. Look at the hate on the chat.
Should I ban Mikey? Should I ban Mikey from the
I can-
show?
Okay. So number one, D-Mod Mikey. 2, ban Mikey. 3, kick Mikey off the show.
Yes.
Wait. You guys don't want Mikey stories? Come on. 1, 2, and 3.
1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, 1, 2, and 3.
1, 2,
2,
and
and
3. I like that. 1, 2, and 3. Oh man.
All right. Let's shut it down. Let's pack it up.
Let's pack it up.
Okay, guys. That's gonna do it for this episode of FGC Talk. Thank you guys for watching. Next week we'll be back next week. If you guys have any questions or anything you guys want us to talk about, you know, feel free to send us a tweet, follow us on Facebook, stuff like that. So we can, you know, answer your stuff. If you guys also have match analysis videos and things like that you guys want us to talk about, please send it in, you know.
I think we got a special closing today.
Oh, I do.
You guys agree?
Yo, I do have something. If you
Yo, don't worry now, guys. We are gonna set you all free.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in.
just
Thank
wait,
you for
just wait.
watching.
No, just wait. Just
And
wait.
remember, check out Marvelous Customs, marvelouscustoms.com.
Yeah, just check out Marvelous Customs.
Custom arcade sticks, ball tops, buttons, anything you're looking for.
And if you have time, if you're in Fresno or Clovis, come by Cab Fitness. Hit us up on Facebook, Twitter,
Yep.
or on SRK, Pacific North.
I got the flyer up on the screen right there, so you know you guys can check that out. Basically, just follow us on the social media networks, and then that way you guys will get a good idea of you know.
And in case you missed any part of the show, it will be uploaded onto YouTube by the end of the night.
Yes,
So you can catch
this show will be put it on uploaded to YouTube. So please, you know, comment, like, subscribe, and share it with people too, because we really do like doing the show, you know, and we want to see it grow and grow our audience and things like that.
If the closing isn't a Mikey ban, I'll be sad.
All right, I think this is it, guys. We're just gonna have to we're gonna have to end it with this.
Damn.
Put that cookie
Oh,
down!
anticlimactic.
Now!
Here we go.
I don't think anybody's, you know, just for shits and giggles, this is the only time we're going to do this. We're going to do it one more time. And then this is how I'm setting you guys free for today.
Put that cookie down! Now!
Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Stay free, the whole lot of you.